Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So this is kind of part two of the this big day that we're having, or that I'm having at least. Yeah, but the part two here is the new Royce Transcendent form, and this guy is insane. I've been waiting, every day since the Transcendent forms were first announced to get this guy, and he's probably the best non-limited Hatcher monster in the game now. He's got some competition with like Sakimoto Ryoma, or like Susanoo, or maybe like Mundus or Arthur, but he's way up there. He's really good. But yeah, let's have a look at his stats. He is a balanced type, and he is indeed balanced, but very much on the high side. This guy is insane. He is a super HP tank at like 27,000, and then his attack is very good, and he has a gauge as well. He'll reach almost 30,000 with his attack. Which means he'll do good damage against any element, not just dark. And then speed is respectable, mid 300s. And then, yeah, he gained flight by over his previous evolution and ascension forms. It's probably coming from riding on the dragon there. And then he's got Ethereal Slayer M, and then Null Warp on the gauge. And yeah, flight, null warp, that's becoming a kind of a double null ability that's becoming very useful now, just because mines and warps are becoming so prominent in the game now. And then Ethereal Slayer, it works on some bosses, of course, and then it works on the kind of the anti-bounce and the anti-pierce guys. He can't do a lot of damage to the anti-bounce guys because he gets slowed down a lot. And then there's not really any point to doing extra damage to the anti-pierce guys. But anyway, it's in there. Yeah, you don't really need to worry about the Ethereal Slayer. It's everything else about him that's really good. His strike shot is pretty similar to Susanoo. He'll bounce around and shoot a lot of triangles everywhere. And it's decent. It's probably the one thing that's not great about Royce. But if you can get him in the boss's weak point every time, that'll do good damage. And it also does a pretty decent job of clearing a field of little guys. And then he's got the double bump combo, both of which are, well, one of which is brand new, and one of which only Jekyll and Hyde have. The new one is the rebound laser, but the lock-on version. So this is like Izanami, but the lock-on version. And the way it works is that if somebody hits Royce, Royce will shoot his rebound laser towards the center of the nearest enemy, and then from there it will behave like a rebound laser. So you're going to see a lot of like zigzags or like W's. Yeah, and this is good and bad. It's good because you're always promised to hit something, but the bad part of it is that you can't really aim it. Like Izanami's rebound laser was really good when you could get it back and forth through, like, say, a boss's weak point every time. With Royce's lock-on rebound laser, that's kind of impossible, or very difficult. So you can't really count on it to do concentrated damage. The big story here, though, and maybe the number one reason to use Royce, is his other bump combo, which is the bouncing balls. They give it the nickname of like green peas in the JP version, or beans, or like gumballs, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this thing is very strong. When you hit Royce, a certain number of these green peas, they shoot out, and then they hit a wall, and then they split, they double, and then they come out again. And then they hit the wall again, and they double again and split. And so the more hits you get with the green peas on the walls, the more green peas come out, and the greater potential for damage you have. And yeah, it can do a lot of damage into the boss's weak point, and it also does a great job of clearing the field of enemies. So yeah, this is a very strong bump combo. And yeah, if you do have Royce and you've never tried Jekyll and Hyde before, you might be surprised by how strong this bump combo is. So yeah, highly recommend that you give that a try. And then to talk about what missions Royce would be good for, if we're just talking about impossibles, He's great for Daikokuten. I haven't tried him there yet, but apparently he lowers the difficulty level of Daikokuten a lot. And then, who else is he good for? I'm looking at the game with site. It says he can go to Akala. And yeah, in that sense, he would kind of play similarly to Striker. You might have seen my video where I take Striker through Akala. And then, yeah, it's just about him positioning and flying over the mines, and then getting his bump combo out in order to hit guys. And then you could take him to Izanagi, he's got Null Warp. And then he would be good for Kushinada and Kushinada 0, I think. In Kushinada, you just need Null Warp for those last few stages, so that can be good. And then for Kushinada 0, he covers both the mines and the warps. Being a bounce type, he's a little bit limited in Kushinada 0 because there are the anti-bounce guys in there. But if you can take care of them, then Royce will be able to move more freely through that stage. And then looking at some future Impulsibles, he'll be also good for Yamato Takeru 0, Izanagi 0, and then Doom. Yeah, so looking forward to those. And then as for Ableberries, that would be good for him. Of course, you want, what is it? Sidekick, so that you can make his bump combos even stronger. And then, let's see, he does have the Slayer, so I usually recommend a like an attack up Ableberry, so you can get more use out of the Slayer. But like I just said, if it's not against an Ethereum boss, then I don't know if it's worth it. For any light or dark character, I recommend Survivor, so that they can enter their opposite element, do extra damage, but then take less damage themselves. And then, yeah, you could give him Survivor, because he has such high hit points, or you could raise his hit points just to make him just freakishly high there. Alrighty, so I think that'll do it for my little rundown of Royce, and then we'll take him to a mission. And the mission is, I forget, Celestial Avatar. I think that's Krishna. Don't quote me on that. I think it's Krishna. And then the only gimmicks here are mines, so we won't get a good sense of Royce's null warp capabilities, but I think we'll be okay. And yeah, the way that I'm playing this one is just to get out as many bump combos as possible. Just so we can get a sense of like how they work and how much damage they do. So yeah, there goes the first stage there. But yeah, you can kind of tell that the lock-on rebound laser goes towards the first closest enemy, and then from there acts like a normal Izanami rebound laser. And then the green peas, we can also get a sense of how those work. So yeah, there we didn't see them really cover much of the screen because most of them hit the one enemy just immediately. But maybe here we'll see some more. Yeah, so there we saw that the green peas went up and down quite a bit more, so a lot more of them came out. And yeah, pretty much filled the screen. Yeah, but I remember when Royce first came out in JP, people were like, oh, this guy stinks. Flight and no warp, who's going to use that? What are these green peas? But yeah, now he's recognized as one of the top tier characters, so. Yeah, and he, I really consider him like a great gift from the developers of the game. Just because he is not a limited character. But he suddenly jumped to like limited character power. So yeah, he's very, very great. The thing about this guy though is not to think that he is kind of the rule now as far as Transcendent forms. He's definitely one of the exceptions. Generally only the limited monsters that get Transcendent forms will get an additional null ability. For the most part, the non-limited monsters, they will keep their regular null abilities, and then add maybe like a Slayer or something, or like an upgrade to their current ability, but no new null abilities, so we shouldn't expect any new null abilities for non-limited characters. But I will tell you that Zeus, when he does get his Transcendent form, he'll get a new null ability. And then, yeah, him and Royce are kind of the only ones now that get the additional null ability. So yeah, that makes Royce all the more special, which is one of the reasons why I was looking forward to him for so long. And yeah, I need all the help that I can get with Daikokuten. The other day there was another 2-hour window of them, and I went for an hour, and I think I beat it twice, and I got 2 drops. And I was so discouraged that I didn't even bother to play the second hour. But with Royce, I am definitely going to give it another try. Alrighty, so we're still in the mini-boss stages for Krishna. And then kind of the number one thing to watch out for him is his cross laser. That does a lot of damage. And then Krishna as a character, I think most people go for his evolution version. He has no null abilities, but he does have a Slayer. I think it's Demon Slayer. And it's like Demon Slayer M or L. And he's also a blast type, and he has a X laser. So he does pretty crazy damage on certain bosses and enemies. So he can be worth making for that. I personally prefer, what's his face, Titanium Ascension, because he is a Pierce, so you can just, move straight for the boss's weak point. And also because Titanium is, it's a pretty easy mission that you can use Hakua hunting characters for. So, yeah. Oi. So there's that damage from the green peas, pretty darn good. Yeah, but with like Royce and Susanoo and Arthur and Lucifer and guys like that, we're really entering the era of Monster Strike, where the bump combos are the thing. And so we're kind of less playing in order to maximize damage through direct hits, like aiming for enemies. And we're more aiming for our teammates, so that we can get more bump combos out. Which is its own challenge, but I would say it's a little bit less of a challenge than trying to do direct damage. So there's a part of me that kind of regrets the change, but there's a part of me that also really, really enjoys these powerful bump combos, because they're a lot of fun to use and to watch. Alright, so here we are at the boss, and then we kind of want to watch our positioning, so that... ooh, crazy damage again. We want to watch our positioning so that we're not in that cross laser area. But I think with our Royce's bump combos, we'll take down the boss before it comes out. Alright, there we go. Lots of green peas. Okay, last stage. And yeah, we'll use Royce's strike shot. And yeah, if the positioning is not great for a on the boss's weak point to go back and forth in there, then I'd be perfectly happy to use it as a to clear the field of little guys, like I just did here. Ooh, a little bit of a match shot there. Alright, let's use the Ashita strike shot. Okay, crazy damage, as expected. And then we'll finish with Tsukuyomi's strike shot. Nope, goodbye, Krishna, or Vishnu. Okay. So that was my little review of Royce Transcendent, and super duper excited about this guy. We are entering a new era of Monster Strike for sure. And yeah, hopefully you have one. There's probably a pretty good chance that you do have one because he's not a limited monster. So yeah, transcend him when you get the chance. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Take care.